So we finally got another 2023 NBA mock draft video to, of course, talk about with you guys. And in this video, I will be talking about who I think the Utah Jazz should, of course, select in the 2023 NBA draft. Now, I really like this pick and who I've got going to Utah right now. But before I get into it, I would like to preface a couple of things off that. Of course, first and foremost, this being that this is a clip from my official 2023 NBA mock draft, the big, long version. Insert a clip of Lana Rhodes saying it's so big. If you want to go and check that out, I will be linking it in the description down below. I think, personally, it's quite important to go check out. Just in case you're wondering, why didn't I take a player that you wanted with this pick? The very big chance and why I didn't take that player is maybe I've already taken him with a higher pick or something in the mock draft. So definitely go and check that out. You guys can go and see who I have all the other teams selecting in this draft and whatnot. The other thing I would like to say is, of course, we don't have the official 2023 NBA draft lottery confirmation just yet. So we'll kind of be basing this pick off where Utah currently sit in the standings at the time making this video. They would actually have the 12th overall pick. So with that all being said, I would very much like to get straight into it. So I guess without further ado, here we have with Utah and who they should be selecting with the 12th overall pick in the 2023 NBA draft. Now I'm going to be moving on to the 12th overall pick right now, where I do of course have the Utah Jazz. And the Utah Jazz are a really interesting team because they have one of my all-time favorite players in the NBA right now in Lauri Markkanen, who I think was a very big catalyst to actually helping the Cleveland Cavaliers be kind of what they are right now. And he has grown into being a really awesome all-star. They've got a bunch of other really nice young players here and there as well, who I'm sure are probably going to be all-stars very soon. But in saying this, they don't exactly have, I think, the greatest guard depth anymore, and I definitely think they're going to be wanting to try and improve on that through this draft. So it's, I think, a pretty good thing for them because it's not only a best player situation, but it happens that the best players that are going right now happen to fill a positional need that I genuinely think the Utah Jazz have, and that is, of course, finding a new guard. So with this 12th overall pick, I will have them selecting Keyonte George, who I think is probably going to be one of the steals potentially from this draft. There's a lot of, I think reports saying that Keyonte George could 100% go like pick 8, pick 9. But again, because some of the teams that I've had picking earlier don't really need a shooting guard like him, he's managed to fall to the pick number 12. And that's what Utah have right now, and I think he's a very special player who could definitely help them out quite a bit. For example, on the offensive end, he's really being compared to a Bradley Beal, just a really excellent shot creator who could become an all-star doing that one day. Of course, as well, potentially on the defensive end, a three-point aspect, even being Eric Gordon, who has almost gone quite underrated for most of his career. I feel like Eric Gordon has had a lot of injuries in his career, but I remember a time where I think it was the 2019 playoffs or so, where there was a stat that actually said that the Houston Rockets' second best player on the court, other than James Harden, was not Chris Paul, it wasn't Clint Capella, it wasn't PJ Tucker, it was actually Eric Gordon, because his defensive efficiency and three-point shooting, all of the above, was just so amazing in those playoffs. So to be able to be compared to a guy like Eric Gordon and Bradley Beal is just really good for Keyonte George. If we're going to move on from his comparisons now, Keyonte George is a 6'4" shooting guard who has a really nice knacked ability on the scoring and, kind of being able to shoot really well, whether it's from the catch and shoot or the shot creation. He's also a really, really fast guy who just seems to be able to outrun those defenders, and he's just kind of being labeled as a natural born bucket is what a lot of websites are calling this guy. Now, of course, there are some downsides to him. It's being said that he doesn't really have elite blow-by speed or really an elite first step for that much, and he can sometimes not be very crafty with his ball handling. But again, Even though that is a bit of a concern in the NBA, especially considering this is the type of competition where you kind of have to be clever with how you handle the ball so you can score. I think as time will go, he can definitely, be able to, I think, learn that and kind of judge how the NBA game is played. And therefore, quickly after that, I think his ball movement and whatnot will probably improve. It's also being said that he has a really nice mid-range jumper, nice three-point shot, and he's really good at getting to the rim and scoring through contact. So this is just a really awesome type of scorer who could maybe one day, I think, develop and be a solid player like Eric Gordon on the defensive type of end. I just think his true shooting will be something that could be really kind of looked at as a spectacle in the NBA, because if he gets his shot creation going and he can do that somewhat efficiently, it would be a really nice, thing to maybe see. Again, in saying that, his defense might not be near that Eric Gordon type of level thus far. It is being said that he's a very pesky on-ball defender who gives a good effort and takes the task personally. He might not be big on steals and blocks, but he can definitely hold his own against the 1 and 2. So realistically, this just kind of fits into what Utah need, because even though I don't think they have a future point guard and shooting guard just yet, I mean, there's a lot of question marks still on players like Colin Sexton. I think he's probably going to be more of a six-man down the line. I do think bringing in a player like Keyonte George to maybe be your future starting shooting guard and putting him alongside Markkanen and Kessler, it definitely makes a lot of sense to me. And I think some people might honestly see this as one of the steals of my mock draft thus far. I think this is a really good move for the Utah Jazz, and not only is he best available, but he also fits a positional need that they kind of need to tick off and, get that kind of down, because this team could be seriously good if they, got some guards back. I mean, when they had Mike Conley and whatnot, they were playing some really good basketball, but they've dropped off a little bit, and I think that might be solely due to the fact that their guard depth is a little bit lacking. But yeah, Keyonte George kind of answers some of their problems, and he could be a very nice long-term prospect. But of course, if you haven't already, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for all the latest NBA content and NBA news. Don't forget to comment your thoughts and opinions down below. Do you guys think the Dallas Mavericks should, of course, trade for Jet Howard? A couple other things here and there. What are you guys' thoughts and opinions on all the picks I've made so far? Definitely don't forget to let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Go and check out all my other 2023 NBA mock draft videos. I'll hopefully have a playlist link down below where you guys can, of course, go and, check all that stuff out. Links down below. Of course, subscribe to my gaming channel, my Hero/vlogging channel, and my podcast. All of them will be linked down below. But as I was saying, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.